yes, welcome back to another video. Now, that's right, I'm back for another TV series review. I like to review all of the Star Wars and Marvel TV shows because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and I'm also a pretty big Marvel fan. And I am very late to this. I've taken a week off YouTube, as some of you know, for those of you who follow me over on Instagram, and for those of you who watched my last video where I explained it, I just needed to take a good week and a half off YouTube and social media. And I know a week and a half isn't long for some people, but I like to try and do 2 videos a week here, so it's kind of unusual for me. But nevertheless, back, and I missed Tales of the Jedi reviewing it. I did watch it day one. I was literally 8 AM when it came up online. I was watching it. But yeah, so I'm just going to briefly go over the show because the episodes are really short. So I am going to go quite quick on this one. But I want to quickly pull out here, and they're right next to me. So I want to quickly... oh, no, wait, here's the other one. Here's the other one I want to pull out. So, of course, we have 2 stories going on with Tales of the Jedi. We have the Count Dooku and the Ahsoka Tano story. And I want to say I'm huge fans of both these characters. Ahsoka, you know, when she first appeared in Clone Wars, maybe not the most popular character, but her growth through that show into the Season 7 finale, through Rebels, and now we're seeing the live-action adaptations occur of her. Brilliant. But I want to say the novel, which if you listen to the Audible audiobook of this, Ashley... Oh, what's her name? Ashley I can't remember her name. The actress who voices her. She does the Audible book for it. And this is a really good book. I do really enjoy this. And it's nice to see that they have stayed somewhat faithful to this in terms of in that last episode for Ahsoka where it's set and what occurs. There are a couple missing characters which I've seen people are quite upset about. But, you know, for the short run times, I kind of get why, you know, there's only so much of this they can put into a 15-minute short. But yeah, so I was happy to see that. And then, of course, maybe my favourite Star Wars book I've got, maybe after Thrawn. I love Thrawn. But the Jedi Lost one, which is Dooku telling Ventress his story from Padawan to basically leaving the Jedi Order and going back to Sereno, this is fantastic. And unfortunately, a lot of this goes out the window. Now, take what you will from that. There are elements of this in the 3 Dooku episodes, but I implore all Star Wars fans who have watched these Dooku episodes and all of a sudden gone, like me and a lot of other Star Wars fans have known, oh, Dooku's actually pretty cool, because he doesn't really get the representation in the movies, even though the great Christopher Lee's playing him. And in the Clone Wars, he is always just that villain lurking in the background. But yeah, if you want to have more Dooku, go listen to this. You know, it's written like a script, this, so it's better to listen to this one as well. Please go listen to this. This is brilliant. So yeah. Anyway, Disney, you need to start paying me for advertising your stuff, please. But yeah, Tales of the Jedi. So first off, I want to say the episode ordering really took me by surprise, because it starts Ahsoka, 3 Dookus, and then you get the other 2 Ahsokas. I was expecting either all 3 Ahsokas and then all 3 Dookus, or flip-flopped. So that was pretty cool. Now, I'm going to be honest, I want to start by saying the animation style is beautiful. Absolutely crisp. Loved it. And the idea of this show is fantastic. I love it. Let's just go back and revisit all the Jedi. Maybe the title, they could have changed it so it doesn't always have to be Jedi, because we're sort of stuck now with just having these episodes about Jedis. But, you know, there's still so many cool Jedi we could explore. Hopefully we get a season 2, and hopefully we get some more unusual characters, or not unusual, but more of the characters that deserve time, like Plo Koon, or Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi. We could see Cypher Dyas, a whole Qui-Gon story. That would be great. So I love the idea of this. What I didn't love was the runtime of the episodes, because while you know, they didn't feel too quick or too slow, these episodes, I just wanted more. I would have, if they were like a 25 minutes, I think I would have been a lot more happy. And of course, selfishly, I want more stories on Dooku, of course. And I want to see, it would have been cool to have a 9-episode show as well. Chuck one more character in there as well to get 3 episodes. So that was cool. Now, I get why they done Ahsoka. She's the easy one to pull people in and try and make them happy with what they're doing. Get that. Dooku's so happy I've done Dooku, as you can see. So anyway, let's talk about the Ahsoka one first. So the opening episode was the weakest one, I thought. Just seeing Ahsoka with her mum, basically, and her tribe that she's with, discovering that she has the Force. Now, they cut out all of the Plo scenes in this one, where Plo Koon obviously comes to find her. Well, not, I don't know if he purposely came looking for her or not, but he is the Jedi that found her. Now, Dave Filoni's come out and said that they've done that because they just wanted to spend time with Ahsoka and her mum, because there isn't much mother stuff in Star Wars. My guy, like, half of episode 1 was Anakin with his mum Shmi, so there has been other stuff in Star Wars. You know, Kylo Ren is as well with Leia. You know, there's constant scenes where they're connecting throughout the Force, especially in The Last Jedi. So there's been a few other things with Jedis, definitely. So yeah, I was a bit gutted Plo didn't show up, and you know, the whole episode, you're around a tribe that you know isn't really going to have a massive impact on the universe. You're just literally seeing Ahsoka as a kid. But it was kind of badass at the end when she come in on that big saber-toothed tiger-looking thing. That was cool. So yeah, the first episode was just okay for me, but then from here on out, it's pretty awesome stuff. So let's skip to episode 5, the second Ahsoka episode, and you're seeing Anakin train Ahsoka properly. He's a much more harsh mentor than a lot of the other Jedis, which I really liked. And I like that you see him training her in skills that actually save her in that Clone Wars 7 Series 7 finale, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars, just go watch it. It's like the best Star Wars Disney have given us. It's incredible. And yeah, that was just fantastic to watch. And seeing how that played out at the end of the episode was really cool. And just seeing that Ahsoka or Anakin banter again was really good. Seeing Rex come back into the fold and Obi-Wan with his mullet, his episode 2 mullet, really cool. And if you look closely in that episode, you can also see a young Kanan Jarrus with his master Depa Billaba. So that was very cool as well. You have to be looking for that. And again, you can see a lot of other cool Jedi in the background. You see Master Anubwe, who has recently died in the Obi-Wan series. He's in the Inquisitor base, but you can see him training the Jedi. And you know, you've got Plo in the background there, and some of your other familiar characters. So that was really cool. So yeah, it was a fun episode, really cool. And in the final Ahsoka episode, it was awesome to see her at Padme's funeral. That little back and forth between her and Bail. And again, that stays faithful to the novel. She's very loosely in contact with Bail Organa after the events of Revenge of the Sith, because she joins the rebellion very soon. So that was all really well done as well. The Inquisitor looked amazing, voiced by the guy who voices Savage Perez, Mr. Krabs. Fun fact. Looked cool, and just like in the novel, died instantly. And he was obviously some kind of gas creature. It isn't confirmed what one yet, but I really liked it. I know he went down really easy, but that's essentially how it happened in the novel as well. The only thing I don't like is in the novel, she then takes his kyber crystals and turns them white, which are the ones she has in Rebels and now live action. Would have liked to seen that. But, you know, still very, very cool. I really enjoyed the Ahsoka arc. It's a very safe first kind of season story for them to do, and I get why they've done it. The trickier one was Dooku. I really rate them for doing this. I didn't think Disney would ever do anything with Dooku, because I just feel like they're almost nervous to do stuff with Dooku, and it's such a shame because he's such a cool character. He's one of the most powerful characters in Star Wars, and he is potentially the best duelist in Star Wars. He's so incredible. He's one of the few Jedi that have learned all 7 combat forms. He's played by Christopher Lee in the movies. He's so old that there's so much knowledge behind him, and he is the leading force of this regime army throughout the Clone Wars. He is such a cool, and he's the Count of the Planet. You know, he's so cool, such a cool character. Mastered to Qui-Gon as well, and it was great to see in those first 2 episodes his descent. You can feel him losing faith in the Jedi Order, which is essentially what happens to Anakin and many other Jedi. You know, you can see Qui-Gon in these episodes, and even in The Phantom Menace, taking on these things which obviously he's learnt from Dooku, this kind of stubbornness to go against the Jedi Council. And there are other Jedi that you see throughout Star Wars, like Quinlan Voss, who sort of do this as well. And yeah, that first episode was really cool, seeing young Qui-Gon voiced by Liam Neeson's actual real life son. It was very, very fun. And yeah, again, you can see Dooku really, you can see the darkness sort of coming out in him. And again, you get that in the second episode as well, where he's with Mace. Now, of course, Dooku did originally have a seat on the Jedi Council. I don't know if maybe he lost it and he was trying to get it back here. It's not really clarified. They sort of made it sound like he never had a council seat in this show, which is a bit of a shame, because a Jedi of his stature, you think, would have had one at some point, like he did in the novel. But it was interesting to see that Mace took the seat, and there's that conflict now between Mace and Dooku, which plays out a bit more when you rewatch Attack of the Clones, maybe, which I thought was a nice addition. And then you have that final episode, which I've watched about 4 times already. I loved it. The final episode was perfection. I want to say, seeing Yaddle finally do stuff, because Yaddle, she's a funny girl. It's a female Yoda, you know, it's all it is to people. But, you know, she's a canon character. She appears in The Phantom Menace. That she's never not going to be canon. So it was nice to see them finally actually do something with her. And Bryce Dallas Howard done a really good job voicing her. I want to say that as well. It was also kind of funny that she didn't speak in riddles like Yoda, because I've seen so many memes online about, you know, oh, don't worry, Yoda could talk normally if he wanted to. So that's all been quite funny. And that scene with Dooku and Qui-Gon was beautiful. Qui-Gon looked incredible. Liam Neeson back voicing him. Perfection. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And yeah, it was just so cool to see that conversation take place, and then to see Dooku finally meet with Sidious and sort of initiate his turn, and him fight Yaddle was great. And this is probably, again, why he was so good at fighting Yoda in Attack of the Clones. Again, I know Yoda was his master, so they probably trained before, but, you know, he's fought Yaddle here and won. And her death was brutal, and I loved that. Loved it. And just the dialogue between Dooku and Sidious was fantastic. Incredible stuff. And I just like the little nods and winks at the start as well, like him erasing Camino, which obviously, now when you rewatch Attack of the Clones, that's all going to tie in a lot more. So yeah, just finally seeing this instead of just reading about it in a novel or a comic or anything. It's just so cool to finally have this stuff put on screen, because Dooku's story is incredible. It's one of the best in Star Wars. It's such an underrated one. I'm pleased that people finally got to see a small portion of it. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give Tales of the Jedi like an 8 out of 10. I thought it was solid. Really, really good show. I just need more, and I need the episodes to be a bit longer. And please don't let that be it for Dooku. Maybe let's revisit him if you do a Qui-Gon series or something. Or a few Qui-Gon episodes, because Dooku deserves more screen time. But anyway, there we go. That's my review for Tales of the Jedi, guys. I hope you've enjoyed as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.